Hello, fellas, and also ladies. It's time to predict what the fucking Brits are gonna do. What those BAFTA nominations are gonna be. BAFTA, man, the Brits are so fucked, man. They're so twisted up there with their weird shit. They call, like, other words different words. They're fucked in the head, man. But, you know, it's the last major precursor set of nominations that we're gonna get before the Oscar nominations. They're typically pretty telling, although the above-the-line stuff is very jury-oriented, so it doesn't always tell the full story. Let's take a peek, though. Let's see what they're gonna do. Let's start off with sound, I suppose. I mean, obviously Oppenheimer's gonna get in. I don't need to, say much. I also think Zone of Interest will, quite easily get in. I don't know the kind of day Zone of Interest is gonna have on Thursday, but I feel like it could have a really good day, but even if... Sound of Interest, sound should come easily for that one, right? After that, I don't know, maybe Maestro. Barbie probably is going to have a great day. People are going to, deny that that's the case because they're just, convinced that, BAFTA will never go for it as if it didn't lead the long list mentions. I think sound, yeah, that makes sense to me. And then if I had to pick a fifth slot, I don't know, they do like their engines. So I am going to say Ferrari actually does get nominated for sound here. Hopefully not. It's not very good sound work. But looking at the long list, Napoleon could maybe happen. Wonka, got the musical numbers. Kills of the Flower Moon, that's an Oscars thing, in my opinion. Yeah, I like this 5 I have. I'm not going to put too much time. It's sound. Going to VFX, I think the 5 I have is correct. The Creator is obviously going to get in. Oppenheimer's probably going to happen since, it is eligible here. It was long listed, so unlike at the Oscars. I do think Spider-Verse is going to happen still. I know, there are some questions about it, but, I do feel like it is going to actually, get a visual effects nomination here, but also at the Oscars. Guardians obviously is going to happen. And I think Napoleon did really well in the long list, much to my chagrin, because it's a garbage movie. But I have to imagine it'll morph into something. Maybe not grand, but maybe something small like visual effects could happen. After that, I don't know. Poor Things, it's such minimal work. I don't know. Really, is Poor Things really going to get a visual effects nomination? The more I think about it, is that really going to happen? Mission Impossible, the VFX are not the best parts. Let's put it like that. Indiana Jones, if it were, that's the Oscars maybe, but not here. Barbie and Wonka, if they really want to go for them, then maybe, but I'm going to say no for the time being. So move on to production design. We all know Barbie's getting in, and we all know Poor Things is getting in. They're going to do, I think the Oscars, Barbie's to lose, but Poor Things could duke it out with Barbie here for production design. After that, I have no reason to believe Kills of the Flower Moon or Oppenheimer won't get in. The last slot actually can go a couple different ways. Of the long list, I'm gonna just rule out Ferrari and Maestro. Those are not getting production design. Why was Ferrari on this list? Same with Maestro. What production design stood out to y'all? But then you have Asteroid City. Wes Anderson. That's tempting. It's very great work, even someone who doesn't love Asteroid City. Zone of Interest. The production design is very much part of the film. It's very much a key factor of the film. Yeah, Wonka also did very well on the long list alongside Napoleon. Wonka has a very colorful, very recognizable production designs. Ooh, man, this is hard. If I had, it really can be a 4-sided coin flip on this one because it really could go any of the 4 ways. I'm gonna lean towards Wonka, but I feel like Asteroid City could still snag it. I swear to God. Go on to score. I think the top 4 that is going to get in everywhere is going to get in here too. Oppenheimer, Kills of the Flower Moon, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Poor Things. That's going to happen here as well. I know people are going to claim Spider-Verse is going to miss, but to that I say, with what proof? So that's going to happen. And then, kind of like the last category, there's 2 that I'm just going to eliminate right here, right now. American Fiction and Napoleon. What fucking scores? I'm also going to say Indiana Jones. The Oscars, I have my guard up. But here, they don't go for John Williams like the Oscars do. They're not just gonna blindly say John Williams. The Oscars BAFTA, not so much. So I am gonna safely say Indiana Jones doesn't get in. That leaves, I think the smart decision would say to put in Barbie, because, if I'm being honest, that's likely to get the Oscar nomination. But then I kind of looked a little further, and I thought, well, Wonka and Saltburn also have, pretty, noticeable scores. So it does make me wonder, if one of those 2 could sneak in for that 5th slot instead of Barbie. And I think Saltburn's score is a little bit more holy shit, like in your face-ish, if that makes sense. So I am actually, like, it kind of just like hit me, like, while I was putting this predictions together. I just went like, man, I think it's Saltburn. Do I think it's going to be the Oscar nomination? No. I also don't think Saltburn's going to have, like, the great day that many people are going to predict it will have. But I think it'll, get something along the way. Yeah, I'm going with Saltburn. Fuck it. Makeup and hair, Maestro and Poor Things are a lock. I also think, it wasn't shortlisted at the Oscars, but I think Wonka will pretty easily get this nomination. After that, I think Oppenheimer will probably easily slide into that nomination slot. No reason to think otherwise. And then I don't know, I think Golda will get the Oscar nomination, if I'm being completely honest. I think that is going to happen. But I do think here it'll miss. Because the makeup is kind of trash in Golda. But, I don't know, is the BAFTA really going to be the ones to say Golda? Like, they're not, like, suckers like that, like the makeup branch of the Academy is. So I am kind of looking at Barbie and Priscilla with, Hard Eyes. I know they both missed the Oscar shortlist, but they both got, do a lot of hair shit. Priscilla made Kaylee Spain look like a 12-year-old girl. I mean, that's got to count for something. But, again, I think Barbie is just such a powerhouse that it's hard for me not to predict it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just Golda that goes alongside the other four. But I'm gonna say Barbie does it. Maybe Priscilla. I would love Priscilla. I don't really know why Napoleon or Kills of the Flower Moon keep getting these long list mentions. These makeup mentions, I should say. Ferrari, fucking why? Why would that happen? Editing. I'm gonna just play it as safe as can be. Mission Impossible, as cool as it would be, no. Saltburn, if they really want to shower Saltburn and All of Us Strangers with nominations, maybe. But I'm going to go ahead and say no. Same with Maestro. That leaves, in my opinion, the top 6 for Best Film, which is Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Again, I don't think Zone of Interest is going to like have this like magnificent day that people expect it to have, but I think it'll have a good enough day. And so that would mean, maybe it could get editing. Maybe it could get editing to go along with like a package. But I am going to say that Anatomy of a Fall gets in alongside the top 4. Because I'm sure you've noticed at this point, but I've said Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, and Poor Things quite a lot, and that's probably going to be a pattern with the Oscars as well. Those 4 just getting every, like, below the line that it realistically can, and same with above the line. So yeah, I am going to say those 4 get in alongside Anatomy of a Fall, which I think is going to have a great day. Like, at least it's going to get, like, everything it realistically could get. And then moving on to costumes, Barbie and Poor Things. Dare I say more? Napoleon's doing really well with these costume awards. I don't know if it'll get the Oscar nomination at the end, but like I do think here, with how well it did on the long lists, I think Napoleon will probably get the costume nomination here, alongside Kills of the Flower Moon, of course, and then Wonka. Honestly, I think that's just our 5. The only thing that could disrupt it is Maestro, because it has really good costume work, but I don't, like, I do think Maestro will get the Oscar nomination, because, Mark Bridges and all that jazz. Saltburn, no. Asteroid City, maybe. People are gonna, like, say Oppenheimer. Fuck you. Why is Ferrari here? And I like Ferrari. But costumes, really? Going to cinematography. Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Maestro, Kills of the Flower Moon. It's over, done, deal, easy, obvious. It's the 5th slot. That is a little sticky. Ferrari will not happen. The creator won't happen. Napoleon will probably not happen. I hope to God not. The cinematography is pretty fucking bad in that movie. But maybe? I think it's more Barbie, Zone of Interest, and Saltburn. Kind of like the Oscar itself. But, with Alconda. But Alconda is not here. I feel inclined to lean towards the Zone of Interest, honestly. I do think Saltburn... I think Saltburn and cinematography is very likely at the Oscars. Same, and I think Barbie, if that were to get cinematography, that's an Oscars thing. But I feel like Zone of Interest has got to, perform, a little bit. So I'm inclined to say, I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Zone of Interest, and it should. I would go for the Zone of Interest of those 3. Casting. I never know what to do with this fucking category. Any of these could happen. I could actually, genuinely, there's a real world where I get 0 out of 5. That's how fucking bizarre this category is. I'm just going to go with what I believe is the safest bets. Obviously, Barbie and Oppenheimer are safe, are theoretically safe, because, casting galore. And I do have Anatomy of a Fall at 3, and you're probably thinking, hey! That's not an ensemble, that's, a couple people. Bro, Elvis won last year. Just saying. I do think Anatomy of a Fall is gonna crush it. So I'm inclined to say, you know, and Annie Fall might did a casting nomination as well. After that, I'm going to go random and say Saltburn and All of Us Strangers. I think those two, again, I don't think they're going to have like an amazing day where they just like solidify themselves in the best picture race out of nowhere. But I do think they're going to show up some places. I think either both or one could get in. You know what I mean? I'd be pretty shocked if neither Saltburn or All of Us Strangers got in here. The Holdovers, The Kills of the Flower Moon could obviously get in. How to Have Sex is fantastic, and if it got casting, I would cheer. Maestro could like theoretically be, you know, that kind of like casting nomination where we're all just like really we're doing that. Bradley casted himself. Scrapper, I actually saw Scrapper, and it's really good, and I can maybe see that happening. Alright, let's go on to supporting actor. Robert Downey Jr. and the Goss King are gonna get in. This is obvious. And I think at this rate, De Niro is number 3. I've seen no like reason to believe he's slowing down. I think he'll get in without like hesitation, honestly. Maybe BAFTA can BAFTA him out of the category, but I think he's a lock for the Oscar. Yeah, he'll get in here. And I know Ruffalo missed SAG, but I think he'll get in here. He could be either the top 3 votes or the jury. I guess I should explain it for those who don't know. I'm sure you guys all know, but just in case, for the acting categories, the top 3 gets voted on, but the final 3 slots are selected by a jury, which is a fucking dumb system, but hey, that's where we're at. But I think Ruffalo can be either or, same with De Niro. I think those two are fine. After that, I would say Dominic Sessa is the next most likely of the long list, because Melton's out, Defoe's out, Sterling's out. I think Sessa will get something. I'd be really surprised if he went the whole season with nothing. That'd be bizarre. And then it gets sticky, kind of. I'm kind of like, it's gotta be one of the All of Us Strangers guys. And I'm not gonna lie, I watched All of Us Strangers, and I'm just like, well, obviously Jamie Bell would be the guy of the two over him or Mescal. And I know people are gonna be like, do you got brain? Paul Mescal got BAFTA last year. That's not why. I don't know, I feel like Jamie Bell is so clearly the better one of the two, and honestly, I wouldn't even put Paul Mescal at 7. I think Ben Whishaw, you know, he didn't get in last year, but maybe they do go for him this year, like, with that open slot. I do think it will, like, maybe Sessa or De Niro or Ruffalo do miss. If that happens, I feel like Whishaw, you know, scurries in. After that, Jacob Elordi, that won't happen. Anthony Hopkins, One Life. Is he even supporting? Alright, now let's do supporting actress. Divine Joy Randolph is going to get in, and she is going to win, as is... Okay, well, not as it. Emily Blunt's going to get nominated. She's not going to win. There's going to be one winner. But Emily Blunt's going to get in. And honestly, I would put Claire Foy next. I think Claire Foy will get nominated here. And honestly, if Andrew Scott can scurry his way into the Best Actor lineup at the Oscars, I feel like Claire Foy could like weirdly coattail alongside him. I do have Danielle Brooks at 4, but I'm not going to pretend I haven't thought about the idea of her getting snubbed. Like, obviously, The Color Purple is in the ditch at this rate, and Danielle's likely to be the film's only nomination. Hell, she only got in with Fantasia, the long list at the BAFTA. And I don't have to tell you the questionable racial history at the BAFTAs. I do have Sandra Hüller for The Zone of Interest. I'm not as like confident as everyone else seems to be. I do have her at 5. I do feel a sense of like confidence. But, you know, she could miss. Again, it's not like something people are like desperately trying to make happen. You know what I mean? Even critics like didn't go for her in droves. Like, this is gonna be her first nomination, if nominated. You know, I'm not like fully convinced she's in, but I'm convinced enough. After that, I am going with Jodie Foster for Nyad. I'm like bizarrely confident she's missing the Oscar nomination. Like, I am, but I feel like she will get maybe this. But like, was she like? I don't think she'll be top 3. Is she really going to be juried in? I guess she could. But I do think, I am kind of questioning that the other alternates, a.k.a. America Ferrera and Rosamund Pike. I'll get to the other two, but I don't think they're happening. I mean, people are going to say, no, I don't want to, no, America Ferrera. Fuck you. People love that monologue. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I do, but again, I think Ferrera will get in the Oscar with or without this. So I'm gonna stick with Ferrera out, although I won't be surprised she gets in. And then there's the Rosamund Pike of it all. Maybe. I know a lot of people are predicting Rosamund, which, you know, again, valid. I get it. I don't think this will result in an Oscar nomination. I don't know. Supporting actress is stagnant enough that maybe Rosamund can get in even if she misses here. But I'll stick with Jodie Foster. She just seems to keep happening. And granted, this is clearly the least likely place for her to get in of the precursors. But I feel like they're gonna they're gonna not do her. I'm sorry. I feel like they are gonna do her. Julianne Moore, I feel like that ship has sailed, if I'm being honest. A lot of people are gonna have Cara Jade Myers in for Kills of the Flower Moon, just based purely on the fact that she got longlisted. I don't buy that she's gonna happen for a millisecond. If she does happen, yippee, I'll cheer, I'll do backflips. But, like, let's not forget who we're talking about, like what performance we're talking about here. Yes, it's cool that she got the long list mentioned, but like, let's not get carried away. Best actor, Cillian Murphy's gonna get nominated, as is Paul Giamatti. Bradley, and they're probably gonna do good after the win after last night's Critics' Choice win. I feel like they're gonna do good after the win, and a lot of people are gonna say, nope, Paul Giamatti cannot win BAFTA. I'm like, yes, he can. Of course he can. Bradley Cooper will probably get in, and honestly, so will Jeffrey Wright. I heard people gonna like predict Jeffrey Wright's snub. I don't buy it. Andrew Scott. Yeah, that'll probably happen, of all places here. And then the last slot, I personally believe, is between Leonardo DiCaprio, Coleman Domingo, and Barry Keoghan. Barry Keoghan is a BAFTA favorite. I won't deny it. He won last year. But, you know, he could get bumped out due to the fact that there are only 6 slots. Again, it's just really hard for me to believe that Leo's actually going to miss the Oscar nomination at the end of the day. And granted, he can miss this and still get the Oscar nomination, of course. But it doesn't, like, that doesn't sound right to me. He's actually gonna miss the Oscar? Like Leonardo DiCaprio? Coleman Domingo could happen here. I know a lot of people are dismissive of that. I actually believe he could very well happen here, even though I do believe he will miss the Oscar nomination. But I am gonna stick with Leonardo DiCaprio, just because, like, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, I know he missed SAG, that's not good. But I'm not ready and willing to just say, oh, that's the death of him. Let's move on to actress. We all know who the top 3 is, and that is Lily Gladstone, Emma Stone, and Sandra Cooler. Now, there is a very easy way this could go. It's just Margot, Greta, and Carrie. Like, that could just be as simple as that, and then we could all scramble for what's going to happen at the Oscars. But, I don't know, it kind of just struck me, what's Carrie Mulligan gonna get? Like, is she gonna be top 3? No. Is she gonna be juried? Probably not. The intention of Maestro was so directly at Bradley that she kind of got screwed over. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wonder if she'll get missed for, like, Mia McKenna Bruce, who is very, very deserving and very easy to fall for. Or even Annette Bening for Naiad, I can actually really see happening. Because I do think Margot Robbie has reached a point where she's just gonna happen. Like, everywhere. And I don't know, I have a hard time seeing them, like, not go with Greta Lee. Like, I have a hard time seeing Greta Lee just getting snubbed overall. And I think I am going to go with Mia McKenna Bruce and say Carrie gets snubbed here and at the Oscar. I actually think that's going to happen. Even, honestly, I feel like even if Carrie gets in here, I might predict an Oscar snub. Something's clicking with me there. Fantasia Barrino, no. Vivian Oprah for Rylane, I love it, but no. Go on to adapt screenplay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Poor Things, Kills the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, American Fiction. Barbie's not here, so it leaves the door open for All of Us Strangers or Zone of Interest. Probably going to be All of Us Strangers. Zone of Interest kind of has an invisible script. I'm going to say All of Us Strangers gets in here. I would love for, an Are You There, God's Me Margaret nomination, but that won't happen. I can move on, honestly. This is not a tricky one. Let's move on to original screenplay. Barbie is here. It's going to get nominated, as will the holdovers Anatomy of Fall and Past Lives. We all know that's the top 4. It's the last slot that gets a little sticky. Air might happen in the Oscars, but objectively, it won't happen at the BAFTAs. I actually can really see them going for one of theirs, like Rylane or How to Have Sex. But I am going to say it's between Saltburn and May December. Maestro could. I should probably stop underestimating Maestro in screenplay. But, I don't know. I'm going to say it's Saltburn and May December. People are starting to go, oh, what if Saltburn gets in because Emerald Fennell's British and she won last time? And I'm like, is that good enough for a movie that where, like, the script, it's a flashy script, but, like, it has been kind of criticized because the ending is kind of shit. I don't know, I feel like people are just kind of getting excited over Saltburn because it blew up on Amazon. And whereas May December's slipping hard, but I think the script could survive. So I actually am going to stick with May December, but, like, man, that's so sticky. I do see the Saltburn path. I don't think it's going to get the Oscar nomination, but I see the Saltburn path here. And again, it could just be one of the Rylanes or How to Have Sex. I would be so happy if that happened. So along with the director, there's 16 slots here. A couple of these are obviously not happening. I want Sofia Coppola, but that won't happen. Molly Manning Walker would be amazing. That won't happen. I think, really, I can only look at the top 10, which I have on the screen. Bradley Cooper won't happen. Oh no. I do wonder about Emerald Fennell a little bit, but if I'm being honest, I think this will be easy. Okay, I should rephrase. I am going to predict the easy 6, which is Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, who's going to win. We all know that. Martin Scorsese for Kills of the Flower Moon. Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. Greta Gerwig for Barbie. I know people are not going to predict her. Your call, I guess. And then I'm going to go with the international slots with Justine Triet and Jonathan Glazer. Now, am I saying that's guaranteed to be the lineup? No, I'm not saying that at all. I actually think at least one of those will miss. But I do feel the safest going with that. I feel like at worst I could get 5 out of 6. So I'm going to say that's the lineup. Though I do see cases for Alexander Payne to get in, for Celine Song to get in. Hell, even Andrew High. I could actually really see them going for Andrew High. But I'm running out of reasons to predict a Greta Gerwig snub. I gotta be honest. Animated films, Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron are obviously in. I think Ninja Turtles is just in. I think that's just gonna happen. And for the last slot, I'll just play safe, say Elemental. Nimona could happen, and BAFTA, Brits, Chicken Run, maybe. But I'll be quick with the animated feature and just say Elemental, Ninja Turtles, maybe Nimona. I won't cut out Nimona, but I feel safest going with this. Non-English language film, Anatomy of Fall, Zone of Interest, and Past Lives are obviously getting in. It's the last 2 slots there's a little bit of ambiguity. Conventional wisdom says Society of the Snow, but I actually really don't think that BAFTA's going to go for Society of the Snow. It didn't get a single long list mention, and granted, either did anything else outside of Anatomy, Zone, and Past Lives, but Society of the Snow really should have gotten, there's no reason why it didn't get the sound shortlist. The long list, I should say. Why is the BAFTA list long, but the Oscars are short? I do think Fallen Leaves is such a compelling movie to watch. It's such an easy, quick watch. I think it's gotta happen. I haven't seen The Taste of Things yet. It won't be available to me till February, which is annoying as hell. Teacher's Lounge I'll be able to see next week. And then The Boy and the Heron I saw at TIFF, and I actually really confident The Boy and the Heron's not getting in this. I'm gonna go with The Taste of Things. I've heard the best things about that. Teacher's Lounge I've heard great things too. I just hear Taste of Things. It's just such a digestible, pun intended, viewing experience. Then I'll go with Best British Film. There's 15 long list, 10 of them get in. I'm getting 5 right at worst. And we all know that Poor Things is a lock, Zone of Interest is a lock, All of Us Strangers is a lock, Saltburn's a lock, Wonka's probably a lock, and Napoleon's probably a lock. After that, I think How to Have Sex in Rye Lane is definitely going to happen. And again, Scrapper did well enough that I think it's definitely going to get in here. After that, it gets a little sticky. Conventional wisdom says go with Chicken Run, go with Tetris, go with One Life. They're kind of more known, but I'm actually going a little different route. I looked up The Great Escaper. Michael Caine's in it. I didn't know that, and it's well received enough. So I actually am going to go with The Great Escaper. I could see Chicken Run just by name recognition alone get in, but I'm going to go with apparently this Escaper fucking nailed it, apparently. And then we got Best Film. All of Us Strangers objectively not getting in. Let's go talk about the other 9. I'm gonna kind of say what I said when I said editing. I think it's just gonna be the top 4. Oppenheimer, Kills the Fireman, Barbie, yes, Barbie, and Poor Things. I think those 4 are gonna get in. And it's the last slot between probably Anatomy of Fall and Zone of Interest. Now, Past Lives and Holdovers could get in. And for what it's worth, what happened with All Quiet last year was an anomaly. It doesn't mean every year there's going to be an international slot in Best Film. But I do think that with that in mind, I do think that it is between Anatomy of a Fall and the Zone of Interest here. I am going to lean towards Anatomy of a Fall because Zone of Interest, as much as it's, in my opinion, a flawless movie, it is not the easiest viewing experience ever, whereas Anatomy of Fall is a lot more digestible. So I'm going to say Anatomy of Fall is the guy for this one, but I won't be shocked if it's Zone of Interest. All right, that's it. I'm going to, react. Next time you see me, I'm going to react to how wrong or right I was. Like, subscribe, share, or else I'm going to go ahead and punch a British man in the nose, in the teeth, knock his teeth back to normal.